walk away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect. If you play better, button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day, a Sunday of checking these buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I had to post this one because this is some heat. This is some heat for your ass, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Sub button down below on the race to, what are we on the race to? 75K, all that good stuff. Chapters down below as well, but I think this one is just some big ass, it's one big ass topic of shots fired all which way. Either way, we gotta check these buttons, so I can't even talk. We gotta check these buttons, so without further, look, we gotta check these buttons. Without further ado, I hope you guys are having a good day. Let's go. All right, now into these set of buttons with them shots heard all across the FGC. Buttons that need to be checked. And this all revolves around beef sets. So it started off nice enough, simple enough from RobTV, and we'll start it right here, but then it just trickled down to everything going straight to hell. Okay, started with RobTV saying, no more beef sets in Street Fighter, huh? Everybody friendly? I had a new situation every month when I competed, LOL. So like I said, simple enough, innocent enough, but then this tweet, just nice little tweet, just floated on down to FGC Twitter, and then what do you think happened? Okay, so for there, picking up right here, FGC responds saying, I think in general we have way too many Bigbird people like in the FGC, role model, nice guy, polite, doing gym pics all day, flexing biceps. We need more drama like K-Brad, Wolfcrone, F-Champ versus enemies, Punk versus Strider. It's so boring to watch Mena and Angry Bird hugging on stage all day. Others adding saying they ended up getting banned by TOs because everybody's soft these days, or all that was gone the moment the FGC accepted to become esports. Some right here saying, I'm so confused. Actually, Bigbird, I'm so confused. I don't know if I should feel flattered or offended. Punk says, he say polite. I think you just pussy. Bigbird says, how in the hell did you come to that conclusion? He says, I heard some stories from some Algerian fellas back in your day. Bigbird's like, MFer, I'm the only Algerian that you know. Punk responds saying, yeah, you're the only one that I know, but not that I talk to. I have lots of dirty info on you from back then, but I won't expose. Just know you a 69 god. Bigbird's like, I see you in Dallas, and Critical Thought says, what are you gonna do, 69 him? Low. So yeah, yo, let's... I got some whole thoughts on the 69 god thing, but hey, listen. Okay, so far, we got some slight shots fired. People are like, okay, there's reasons to blame for the lack of beef sets on one. People are getting canceled. They're getting banned and whatnot because we're soft in this new day and age. Others are like, we need less people like Bigbird that's always hugging and waits and we're just too nice. Basically saying we need more of the opposite of Bigbird because he's too nice. That's why Bigbird responds saying, I don't know if this is a diss. Like, how should I feel about this? Punk responds saying, I think he's just saying you pussy in a nice way. Continuing right here saying, bad guys make the show good. Like in wrestling, there should be a babyface heel. Bigbird says, beef sets in my opinion are ass if they're not accompanied by high level gameplay. The reason F-Champ versus KBR, K-Brad, Wolfcrone, Punk, Strider, etc. are memorable is because they were accompanied by very high level of gameplay. Other than that, I'm hooked for like 1 minute and then I'm out. If I want to watch solely because of shit talk, I'll go watch WWE. But then Majin Obama responds saying, not gonna lie, this one's a miss, slap my ass off. Some of the best moments, most viral, funniest, and honestly some of the moments that are most capture the struggle and climb towards the top that captivated many players here now came from stuff like this. Bigbird responds to that saying, there are exceptions of course, but they're getting glorified way too much. It's fun / good if it happens organically out of nowhere, but to say the scene is boring without it, nah, I don't agree. I personally wouldn't care to watch mid-level players beef most of the time unless they know how to put on a show outside of the gameplay. So many sets are labeled beef sets just because someone called another person or somebody else trash. Others actually respond to that, going a little deeper, saying, begging FGC people to stop asking for face and heel in community like in wrestling. You can't be a heel in FGC. A heel is an actor. You just be what we call an asshole. That one has over 1,000 likes. Others though kind of see it from a different point of view, right? Saying, I think it could be done if you just were super good at understanding what wrestling heel is on and off the screen and what the boundaries of your opponent were. You can be a good heel even more so in the real world if you have an ego. Okay, so let's unpack that real quick. How y'all feeling about that statement? On one hand, Majid Obama's like, nah, I disagree with it. Some of the best moments came out of stuff like this. Bigbird's like, yes, there are exceptions, but nowadays, way too many of them get glorified, and we're calling everything a beef set. Just like when somebody's calling somebody trash, it's automatically a beef set, and I don't think it's that entertaining that we're blowing it up to be, especially if it's from somebody that's not a top player. And then you got others like Yam Yam Bigelow, right, saying begging FGC people to stop asking for a face and heel in the community, like in wrestling. You're just considered an asshole. If you think of like all-time heels in the FGC, I know for a long time people considered LTG to be one, even if he wasn't considered a pro player. F-Champ, definitely. F-Champ loved to talk that shit, flipping people off. Sometimes it didn't go his way, but he was still talking shit. Who else you think? Poke Chop. Poke Chop loved to talk that shit, and I think he was actually good at it. Like, that dude, he brought some hype. But then you make the argument like, okay, well, yes, there's exceptions, but only it has to be like high level. The mid ones are like, eh. But who doesn't remember fucking Sonic Fox versus Waka Flocka? Everybody knew Waka was gonna get washed, right? And a lot of people, because of that, said they weren't gonna watch it. But let's be real, when that shit went on, everybody fucking saw it. And why? Because it was a show. It was entertaining. Waka was talking that shit. Waka's manager / business partner also was talking that shit, putting on a show. And then Sonic came talking that shit. Legendary moment, put on the blindfold and still whooped his ass. That was the cherry on the cake. That took it over. I remember being there thinking, this shit blew up the whole event. It was already good, but this, chef's kiss. If it didn't end in a complete fucking dumpster fire with all the drama after, you would have seen a part 2, maybe even a part 3 with other players and whatnot. They could have kept it rolling. And I say all that to say this, like, even though it wasn't high-level gameplay, like we knew it was going to be one-sided, there was a storyline there because they had talked shit to each other in the past. There was a high amount of money, you know what I'm saying, that was put on the table. But you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of interest. There was enough backplay, enough story for people to be like, all right, I want to see this shit. I want to see how it rolls out. So I think that kind of preaches to Bigbird's, both of their points, right? Majin's side saying, nah, like some of the best moments are built out of this. And also Bigbird's where he's like, I'm not interested in it unless they really know how to entertain outside the game. And I think that's what Waka versus Sonic ended up being. But then it gets even deeper somehow, because now like players end up going at each other, and I didn't even catch them all, right? These are just a few that I've seen. So Rushdown post this saying, even I would hesitate to talk shit in a game where Noah the Prodigy can beat Knuckle Do an item and I'm a hater. Others see that like JB. He responds saying, nah, you see, this is where I stop you because Noah has achieved more than you could ever dream of. Every time you open your mouth about Street Fighter 6, it seems like you're just projecting your own securities or insecurities. You were never even good enough in Street Fighter 5 to be talking like that either. Holy shit, we got some beef sets shots fired. Others surprised as hell like Bigbird saying, damn, you've been moving different ever since you got sponsored. I didn't know you had it in you. Then Noah actually responds to this as well, saying, because I came back and turned a lot of Street Fighter 5 pros into content creators and I came back out of nowhere, wouldn't you be mad too? Others like Flash saying, dude is straight joke. Top 5 most Delulu players in the history of FGC. Bums, the amount of shit that comes out of his mouth, you might actually believe he's good if you didn't know better. JB responds again saying, people used to always say that I only beat X player in V because of X. I'm sorry for coming so strong, but something triggered me seeing Noah as vain as he can be, defending himself alone. I just don't think anyone who wasn't at the top level should have opinions like that. And wrapping it up right here with the man that started it all, Mr. RobTV, saying, FGC, this was the most innocent throwaway tweet in the world. I was just noticing that people aren't getting into little money match feuds anymore. Didn't think twice about this tweet, and some of y'all started fighting, subtweeting, etc. Never again, bro. Y'all got it. LOL. And there you have it, totally to the shit. So yeah, there's a lot of arguments there for beef sets. I think times has changed. You know, obviously we know what's to blame. Esports, the softness, the culture, new day and age, old heads dying off, old heads staying around. There's a lot of, there's a lot of arguments for that. And there's more arguments. This is just only a few, that I found in the last day or so. So I think it's interesting. I consider RobTV, he hasn't been around too long compared to like the older guys, Mike Ross, Gutex, and whatnot. And then you got Noah the Prodigy. Now, even though Noah the Prodigy is young, he's hella young, he's been around the FGC since he's been a little fucking kid. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he was hanging around. He got pictures of Mike Ross and tournament. He was like fucking 6 or 7 years old. He was a little kid, and his dad was bringing him around tournaments. So he has like that old school mentality built in him. He loves to talk shit. He loves to pop off. And he's always been like that. Then you got RobTV, who hasn't been around as much as Noah, and he's young, but he's still like that as well. It's in his blood. He loves to pop off. He loves to talk shit. Keep it in the game, but he loves that hype. But everybody's not like that. And I think that's the way the FGC is going to be. You know, this day and age, there are more rules. There are more watered down ways and shit like that, where people change it from the losers bracket to the lower bracket and all this other stuff. But I don't know, I would like to believe at the end of the day, there's always gonna be somebody, whether they're old or young, like we just showed, that's still gonna want that hype. That's still gonna stick out, and it's still gonna make us be like, yes, this is exciting, this is what we need. Now, is the majority gonna be like that, like we used to see? I felt like we saw a lot more of it back in the day. Probably not. But either way, that's where it remains. Beef sets, the future in the FGC. How y'all feeling? Let me know. Definitely, one more again, definitely let me know how you are feeling. Thank you for the amazing love. We will see you soon. If not tomorrow, definitely next day, which is that HT. And yeah, like I said, I'm sweating just talking about this, and I'm in AC. So yeah, damn, this was a banger. I appreciate all the love, Patreon. We got a new video coming for y'all today. I appreciate y'all love. And as always, I don't know what it is, but I know it's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.